my videos that I've been meaning to post in the past couple of months, and it is July apparently right now because we are talking about Loki. Now, of course, this video is about 5 months late, and I did post quite a few videos about Loki, but I never got around to posting my last video after the last episode dropped. I made all these predictions about the last episode, and I got busy. Anyway, today we are talking about Loki episode 6 and speculating about season 2 of Loki whenever that's coming. So let's get on to my thoughts and reactions from Loki episode 6. I thought that right now would be a good time for this video since I'm catching up on all my videos, trying to get them all in before No Way Home comes out, and I did just finish rewatching all of Loki with my sister like a couple weeks ago, so it's pretty fresh, and I even watched the last episode one more time just to prep for this video. You know how that goes. But anyway, as with some of my other Loki videos, I'm gonna start with my reactions to the episode, some things I remember thinking on my first watch, as well as, later on upon rewatching the episode, and then I'll go into some of my top predictions for season 2. So first of all, I called it on a bunch of stuff actually in my Loki episode 5 and episode 6 predictions video. Like the intro, for instance, I totally called it that was just going to be the opening, setting the scene and everything. Honestly, whoever was involved with making that part probably had a really fun time. I loved all the quotes. There was all the Marvel quotes, and then it switched to like real life quotes, and then there's like so much fun like camera movements, and then it like showed, Anyway, I love that part. It was interesting, and I actually kind of thought that might be the case, but the sacred timeline was actually revolving around the Citadel at the end of time, so that was pretty cool. Also, I called it that, as with some other clips from the TV show, this clip where Loki and Sylvie are walking up to the Citadel, from the trailer it was just Loki, and I said, I bet Sylvie is in that clip, and they just edited her out for the trailer, and looky here, yep, that's what happened. Oh my gosh, what the heck with the jump scare, Miss Minutes? Could she be the villain? All of those jokes that she was the one behind it might be right. No, obviously it's not really her, but she was more involved than we might have thought, so that was kind of cool. No, it's He Who Remains. After rewatching it, I'm kind of confused why Miss Minutes tried to tempt them. Like, was that a last trial by He Who Remains? Like, they have to pass this test? Or was it like a genuine thing where like she or He Who Remains was trying to keep them from actually making it to that point? It's kind of confusing to me, but obviously like it made sense at that point in time. That's one of those things that maybe needs more explanation upon rewatch. Something I loved about this episode was how like tense and suspenseful it was. Like, it really got you on the edge of your seat. Rewatching it, it's not the best episode. I loved watching it the first time. Rewatching it is still good, but there's just so much talking that it's a little bit, more boring. But yeah, they're just like walking through the castle more, and then, oh my gosh, it's Jonathan Majors! It is King the Conqueror! My jaw seriously dropped the first time I saw that. Like, I was watching and I'm like, no, is that him? It is! And personally, I love how they combine the two characters of like King the Conqueror and He Who Remains. How like it is He Who Remains, but like that's kind of just such a nebulous character. It's not necessarily a specific person. But now we've got King the Conqueror, but it's not actually King. It's a variant of King. And so now we've got these two put together, and if then he's gonna show up and so they get in an elevator, and then I was confused about whether it was an actual elevator because it didn't feel like it was moving. That must have been a really smooth elevator ride. But I guess they did have to get to the top of tower because that looks like that's where his office is. Oh, that's an office, not a library. I said in my episode 5 video I predicted it would be a library just because I guess I saw books. I don't know. Oh, we get to the Mobius scene where we see him go back to Ravona's office. I predicted he would be saying, I'm back. He actually says he's back, referring to himself in third person, close enough. Now we really get to the part where there's lots of talking. Lots and lots of talking. But I do really love He Who Remains' character. He's just like so eccentric and crazy, like not the evil type of villain, but like he's just crazy. Honestly, it was just so well done by Jonathan Majors. And finally we get some answers. With lots of talking. Oh, we see that's how Ravonna gets the pruning stick, but she has mercy on Mobius and doesn't prune him again. That's good. But what the heck? Where did she go? Is she like immune to this change in TVA thing because she left the TVA?
And just who are you?
It was so close. So close to name dropping King the Conqueror. Like, I just asked for one one name drop. Just one name drop. Either Kang the Conqueror or Nathaniel Richard. Just give me like a name drop. I wanted to know. He Who Remains wasn't enough. But there is this. When Sylvie asks, and just who are you? He does say,
A conqueror.
oh, so he's a variant of Kang the Conqueror. Still no name drop. Ugh. But it makes so much more sense now, right? And the reason that he's the one who's here, he's the one who ended up in charge of the TVA, creating all that stuff, is because he was the one who was able to weaponize Elias. And then he leaves Loki and Sylvie with a very interesting decision to make. It's interesting to see them at odds on this one. It really shows Loki's character development that he's the one taking the arguably more peaceful path in this decision. Can I just say, there is a lot of zooming in and out in this episode. I know it adds to the suspense, but I started noticing it at some point that it was a lot. Oh shoot, that fight in the library was actually Loki versus Sylvie, not versus the big bad. That's something from my last video that I predicted ever so slightly incorrectly. Oh, he just wants her to be okay. No, they didn't. They actually kissed. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to think about this. It's so weird, but what? She sent him back to the TV. Okay, that means that the kiss was actually maybe just a ploy. It wasn't even real. Like, I don't know what to think about this whole thing. Oh my gosh. He Who Remains says, see you soon at the end. That's a nice callback to the secret see you soon in the 4th episode. And now the sacred timeline's splitting like crazy. I noticed it started splitting even before then, so that's like an interesting thing we might need to make some theories about. But when we see it splitting, we do see one more thing that I predicted, which is B-15 and Mobius watching the sacred timeline split on that one monitor. I called that one too. What? No. The TVA, what? No. The TVA, I don't even know what is going on. Somehow now Kang is in charge. It's not even like He Who Remains. It looks the same, but obviously it's not the same one because now there's another timekeepers. I'm in shock. What an ending, guys! And they announced season 2. It was good. Oh my gosh. By far my favorite out of the Marvel TV shows so far. The only one that comes close, of course, is WandaVision. I mean, at this point, there's only 3.5 so far, but it's definitely my favorite. So much good stuff, and I don't even know what to say at this point. Of course, coming out of that 6th episode, the main things I was thinking about is, what does this mean for season 2? Is that actually Kang the Conqueror, or is it another variant of He Who Remains? And we're gonna get another change before Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania? I am so interested to find out. First of all, it kind of depends when Loki season 2 is releasing, which at this point I don't think I've heard anything else about that yet. You guys can tell me if I have just missed something, but there's definitely possibility that it'll release before and after Quantumania. At least last I checked, Ant-Man Quantumania comes out February 2023, so it's not like out of the picture for this to be coming out, for season 2 to be coming out end of next year, so like in a year, or even a little bit longer than that, which would place it after Quantumania. I am so interested to see what happens next. You know what, I just checked real quick, and apparently Quantumania is supposed to release in July now. I knew that some things got pushed back, I just haven't been super up on top of it. So I'm betting season 2 will come out before Quantumania, like I was thinking a few months ago when it first came out, but we will have to see. Anyway, the whole reason why I mention that is because we know that Jonathan Majors is going to be playing Kang the Conqueror in Quantumania, and so I had a question coming out of season 1 of Loki. Is the new, like, person who's in charge of the TVA, is that actually Kang the Conqueror, or is it another variant of him before things get switched up again and we get the real thing? Maybe this version will be more malicious than He Who Remains was, but not quite Kang the Conqueror, or it could be Kang himself. Either way, I feel like this is going to build up to the epic villain that we're going to have in Quantumania. One more thing that I want to call back about my video that I made about episode 5 making predictions for episode 6 is the fact that there were some clips that were very misleading and not even in the show at all. Ugh, goodness. I remember I made all my predictions based on the clips we hadn't seen yet in the TV show, and like it fit, and there's so many things I predicted correctly just based on those clips. And then there's like those end ones where I'm like, I don't know where to put this because apparently Loki becomes the king of Asgard again. I mean, should I say again, like for real this time? But yeah, they were just misleading us. Those clips are not part of the show. It's just funny how they love to mislead us in trailers. I love to pull the trailers apart and try to find all the little snippets I can find. But of course, we all know that trailers aren't 100% upfront and honest with us. And now let's get on to the next part of my video, answering top 3 questions from Loki episode 6 about what is going to happen in Loki season 2. This is going to be pretty quick. There's just a few questions I jotted down that I want to make predictions about so I can, react to my predictions when season 2 eventually comes out. So first of all, where did Ravonna go? It actually took me a few viewings to notice or, place meaning to what she says when she leaves. Ravonna says that she's going in search of free will. Now, a couple minutes before in her conversation with Mobius, she says that the only person who has free will is the person in charge. So it's clear that she is going in search of He Who Remains. Not that she knows that's what he's called, but whoever created the Timekeepers. And my guess is that she went to the Void because obviously that's where Sylvie went to try to find He Who Remains. And I'm guessing that instead of finding He Who Remains, she is going to find this new leader of the TVA. Now, question number 2, where did Loki end up at the end? Now, it's obvious that it's the TVA, but the question here is it the same TVA or is it a different one? Are there multiple TVAs? This is so confusing. Yeah. I'm really inclined to say that there are not multiple TVAs. I know there's some things about there being multiple universes and multiple timelines. I haven't really read into a lot of that stuff yet. I took a bit of a break from watching videos on YouTube and reading articles about this sort of stuff just because I've been so busy recently. So I might not be as up to date on all of this theories and stuff as you guys, but I think it just complicates things for there to be multiple TVAs. The question here, I guess, is the sacred timeline actually all of the universes combined, or is it just isolated from all of the other parallel universes? There's so much to answer here. To make a long and convoluted explanation short, I'm gonna say that there's just one TVA, but he's ended up in a different time. For instance, after this new Kang variant, or Kang himself is able to fill this void by that was left when He Who Remains was killed by Sylvie, and maybe is mind swept all of the TVA agents, so they don't know who Loki is. But let's get to question 3. Is that really Kang? Do we have Kang the Conqueror? I'm gonna go ahead and say, I bet Loki season 2 is coming out before Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I bet this is another variant of Nathaniel Richards. If it is even Nathaniel Richards, who knows if they're gonna go with the exact same character as the comics. But I think it's another variant of Kang, more malicious than He Who Remains, but not quite as crazy as the real Kang the Conqueror, who we will be getting for Ant-Man specifically. Anyway, you guys let me know the answers to those questions down in the comments. Let's have a good discussion. Also, I would love it if you could join my Discord server. The link to join is in the description. I am trying to get some more people on there. There's just a couple of us that talk, but that's a good place to have some discussions about this as well. Of course, don't forget that in the next week or so, I am going to be posting a couple more videos. I've got one coming for you about Shang-Chi and about Eternals, so keep a lookout for those. In order to get notified about those, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and don't forget to like the video and check out more of my videos over there, and I will see you next time. Bye!